I just watched Dunky.
I had to go through the rain for this movie, you guys. That's how much I love you. There we are, everybody. See ya in 3 hours.
Yes, that was a very different initial reaction than what I had to Animal, the other movie I have seen in theaters recently. I watched Dunky and I freaking loved it. I'm gonna tell y'all. I'm gonna tell y'all all about it. First of all, like, subscribe, comment, tell me your thoughts. I do read these comments sometimes. I'm very, very busy. If you stick around to the end of this video, I will actually be responding to some of your comments from when I watched Animal. But for now, let's get into Dunky. So, this I'm going to try to keep this as relatively spoiler free as possible, but there are so many specific moments I really want to talk about. So, no guarantee. You'll probably get a few spoilers from this, just so you're aware. But the movie starts off with a race. And it was so funny because in our trailer reactions, we were talking about the race. We were like, why is he racing? What's the purpose of the race? The race means nothing. The race isn't important. The race is a plot device for something much more dramatic. So Sharuk is in this race and he's looking fit. He's a little bit older. He's got this like crazy gravelly voice that I am all for. And you see this woman, we haven't met her yet. She like in a really cool way gets out of the hospital and she calls him. And it instantly sets the tone of like, oh, this is someone important because this guy tries to stop the race to let Sharuk know, like, hey, this girl's on the phone, this girl's on the phone. He can't stop the race. He eventually yells over the megaphone, Manu's on the phone! And Sharuk is like 5 seconds away from literally crossing the finish line, and then he stops and turns and looks at the phone. And I was like, okay, they got deep, deep history. But you couldn't have waited. You couldn't have let my man win. Come on. 5 seconds. Anyway, it was a really cool opening and it like instantly like it zoomed in on their faces while they're talking on the phone together and they're like, it's been 25 years. And like I think that was a good plot thing to be like, what happened between these two? Don't worry, you find out. So essentially you find out that he's like someone who can get stuff done, which we know from listening to the soundtrack. And they have this deep, deep history, and they're going to meet in Dubai, and she wants to get to India, but she can't get to India for whatever reason. And so the movie is, most of it is a flashback scene to 25 years ago when they all met in India. And it was just, I love a flashback. I really do. I love like the mystery of like, hey, there's these group of people that have a history. What is that history? And then finding out through cinematic form. That really tickles me. So they go back to like in India 25 years ago, and it sets the basis pretty quickly that like these people are not very well off. They're all poor. You have like your comedic character, you have the girl, you have SRK who's the man, and you have another character who how would you describe him? I don't know, the extra friend. um, and they all have these reasons where they want to go to Britain or London specifically and make a bunch of money, right? So it was funny. The first half of the movie is pretty funny. Um, because it's them trying to find a way to like get a cheap visa to London, through like either marriage or, um, faking being a doctor. Um, or the girl ends up learning hand-to-hand combat so she can get a sports visa license. And they eventually meet SRK through a really nice story. I think the way that he ends up meeting Manu is really sweet. Um, you'll have to watch to find out how that happens, but he ends up like basically owing her big time. And so he's like, I will help you get your visas. And then they all join an English class together. Um, Cue a bunch of silly school stuff. There's like a dance involving lavatories. That's fun. That's great. I liked that. They meet another character there who's got this super tragic reason why he wants to go to Britain. And you're rooting for him, but he's like, it's very dramatic, very dramatic. And he ends up not being a part of their friend group anymore. I'll just say that. Yeah. Anyway, so they all do this English class, and there's a really clever, this might have been one of my favorite parts. There's a really clever part where SRK comes up with a paragraph that they can say to pass their test. And what they've kind of been taught is that in order to pass the English test to get your student license, you have to be able to talk in English like pretty fluently. So they're like, oh, if I say this one paragraph, and they give me a topic and I could just insert this topic into this paragraph, which was a really great, like, stick it to them paragraph about immigration, then they have to let me get in the visa because it's really well done English. Well, that didn't work for them. And the writing in this part is just really fun. It's whip smart. Um, I love how they showed how everybody is like doing their test, and only one of them passes and gets the student visa, and the rest of them aren't so lucky. Well, they have a classmate that doesn't jive well with him, and in a very dramatic way, he dies. I said this would have spoilers. I'm not going to tell you what happens though. And they're like, well, we gotta get to London. Like, this is some baloney. What the heck? He just wanted to go for one day. And so they decide to do a donkey. That's, title reference. It's like a donkey trip. And it essentially means illegal immigration. And that's the first half. So the first half is like this like fun, like comedic, romantic. The song that they have in there when Manu stands up for SRK and she takes him by the hand and leaves class and he's just staring at her with these big puppy eyes. I can't get it out of my head. This oh, I loved the song in the first act. And that's really the only like dance number that they have, but it was so cute. And we did a reaction to it, but seeing it in the movie and seeing like what happens before that, um, I loved it. And Shahrukh is just so amazing at that love look. Like the way he would just stare at her, like he's completely head over heels for her. I was like, that man knows what he's doing. That man knows how to act. I loved his expressions and his acting and the way he portrayed love, sorrow, anger. Like, I need to see more SRK movies. You guys, I'm hooked. But yeah, the song was cute, the romance was cute. There was some drama with their friend that passed away, and then intermission. Second half. This is where the action comes in. So, I'll tell you guys right now, I thought there would be a lot more murder in this. There's not as much murder. Off the Okay, well, I was gonna say six people died, but a few more people died. But as far as being murdered goes, um, basically most of the action scenes in the movie are in the trailer, so it was a little misleading. Like, I thought that their whole journey on the donkey to London would be like the main focus, but it's really not. It's like half an hour of the movie. This involved like some really cool location shots. I loved all of the places that they showed, and even just like little 10-second snippets of them being in different locations, and you see SRK and Manu falling in love, and you see them getting stored into the cushions of cars and into shipping containers and going across the desert, and they get captured by guards, and some violence happens, but the violence is it's very tough violence, but it's a very well done scene. It's super well done. But that's like it. Like that's it. There's really not as much violence as I thought there would be. It's mostly about their romance, if anything. Um, and how kind of tragic it is that they were like two ships passing in the night, they went through this crazy thing together, but had a hard time ending up together because of everything else going on. Um, so good. So not a lot of violence. Any of you, if any of you are queasy with violence, just know it's very brief, and I think it makes sense, like why it happens. And then after the violence, they continue walking through the desert. There were perfectly good camels there. They could have taken the camels. The camels were in pens. Why are you walking on your legs when camels have legs and camels are there? They didn't take the camels. That's fine. Um, so they continue on, and the crew is just SRK, Manu, and this friend who ends up totally third wheeling. There's like all these really romantic moments with SRK and Manu like trying to survive together, and then just their friend looking on and smiling. It's kind of funny. It reminded me of that meme that's like you and me and my friend Steve. Do 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 do.
And I can't believe that it's finally me and you and me, just us and your friend Steve.
I don't know if you guys would know that meme, but yeah, the three of them managed to get to London, and they got to London a lot faster than I thought. And the movie doesn't end there. It does not. It's far from over. Um, I feel like this movie could have been two movies, but I think I hi Katie. Um, but it was also nice like getting the full closure. Um, so then they end up in London and they realize it's not what they thought it would be. And I kind of liked that the realism of that. Like they found out that their friend that got the student visa is begging on the streets. And they find out that like it's not the land of opportunity that they thought it was supposed to be, and it's going to take them a lot longer to raise money to send to their families. And Sharuk is like, "F this! I'm going back to India." And Manu's like, "No, stay for me." Um, and long story short, they end up having to appeal in court. And this is my second favorite part. SRK has this really, really emotional speech in the courtroom that was like super like Indian nationalism, and talking about how unfair the immigration process is and how it sucks that they make getting visas so hard for people who just want a better life. Um, and they try to tell him like if you want to live in London, just claim that you need safe refuge. That like India is going to hurt you, and he was like, I will not betray my country. And then um I don't know how else to say this without spoiling it, but like yeah, it doesn't quite work out for him, and him and Manu get separated. And they don't see each other again for 25 years. And he is in India and she is in London. And it's so, oh, it hurt me. It hurt me so much. Like, it was almost worse than if she had, like, died. Like, them having to be separated like that, and, like, not, obviously not wanting to be separated. Like, the acting was on freaking point, you guys. I was like, let them be in love, okay? Why are you doing this? Um, like, Sharuk's ability to portray heartbreak in that moment was just like, I just wanted to give him a hug. Um, and it really made me feel for things. It was effective. And long story short, after that, 25 years pass, they get reunited, some other stuff happens, blah blah blah. There's a story that really got me that was him wanting to propose to her under Big Ben. And he didn't get the chance to when they were in London earlier, and there's like this fake Big Ben, and it's really romantic. And then um it ends kind of bittersweet. I won't say, but then they have this like series of really real, like, they have a slideshow in the end that's like kind of getting away from the fiction and talking about immigration and showing real life pictures of people immigrating, and showing statistics of how many people have died just trying to fight for a better way of life, and pictures of people in the car cushions like they showed in the movie, and showing that this is like very much real. It's not just a fun movie. that like people's lives were impacted. People were in love and people had families, and I was crying. I was crying a lot during this time. But I brought tissues, so I was ready for it. Um, but yeah, I won't go in too much more into the ending. But something happens, and I was just like, it hurt me, and I'm like getting emotional thinking about it because Shah Rukh Khan is such a good actor, and yeah, I loved this movie, guys. I don't know if everybody else will share my same opinion, but like I saw Animal a couple weeks ago, and I don't think I would watch Animal again. I would watch this again. I would watch Dunky again. And with that, I do want to go back and look at a couple of comments from my Animal review. There were some people who told me that um the swastika is a Hindu symbol, which is 1,000 years old. This is from Alan John 6374. Thank you. 1,000 years old, which was taken by Hitler for us Indians. Swastika isn't offensive, it is a symbol for good fortune. A few other people in the comments told me that, and I had no idea. So thank you. Like, this is the type of stuff I'm learning still, and I really didn't know that. For me, the only thing we're taught with the swastika is that it's associated with the Nazis. So getting to know the further history of that, I was like, oh, that's amazing. A lot of you are really, really nice. Call me cute. Thank you so much. Someone said this should be the best review I've seen so far for this movie from Mirror0107. Thank you. I'm not a professional, so I appreciate that. Um, so well said, summarized, and gave attention to detail that other actors are failing to do. Thank you so much. I hope that I did that with Dunky as well. Um, yeah, everyone was great. K-drama, C-drama. Oh, hi! I remember you. Gun scene in college student life. Goosebumps. Same. Big same. Um, a lot of just I just want to thank you guys so much for watching and commenting and being really kind. Um, I want to thank uh Not Your Daddy XY, loved your reaction. Thank you. AJPS called me a star. Get out of here, you're a star. Um, P PDB437. Yes, I agree with you. Go watch Animal, guys. Don't miss this theatrical experience. Castaway Sunny mentioned that it was one of the worst films of the year. And this is why I love this stuff, because some people really love it and some people totally think different. It's really interesting to see. Um, Mostly in terms of storytelling, there's no narrative, no depth. I thought about it more later. I kind of agree, but I still enjoyed it. I'm easy to entertain. Please do a spoiler review alone or with friends who saw it. That's a really interesting idea. That is from Arl5780. I would love to do a spoiler review of these because it was really hard not to spoil Dunky. I think I still did, but you know. Um, a few people say thank you for the review, like Eltos Peter 4750. Thank you. Um, Sora B.H. Sharma 4584 said they do not run out of bullet. I mean, they are rich, but guys, reload. Yes! You know what I'm saying. B-Boy Sub says the cat in the background is the best. Thank you. I think he showed up here at one point. That's Taco. Um, that's just a few. Uh, Important Someone 153 says that I need to work on my audio. Oh, hmm. Yeah, I probably do. I usually have a headset on, but I didn't for these reviews. Well, you know what? I'll do that next time. It's too late now, though. Hey, is it rated R in the United States? Yes, it was. It was rated R. Um, but yeah, thank you guys so much. There were so many other comments that I didn't get to. I was really pleasantly surprised by how well that was received. I would love to do more of this. Let me know. If there are other movies you would like me to go and see. There's always something being released. But yeah, I really enjoyed Dunky, and if you are an SRK fan at all, go see it. Bye, guys. See you next time.